Episode 72, Our League podcast. I'm on off the duo Eds alongside my co-host, my brother, my brethren, Ethan. We've been away for a bit. We've both been busy living our lives,
Yeah,
people, man. Stop messaging me, oh, when's the pod coming? Allow it, bruv. Man got things to do. You know what I'm saying? Was Premier League season's over, man. The Premier League season's over.
yeah,
115 charges, won it again, 4 years in a row. I say that, but end of the day, the players still have to go on the pitch and do their job. Do you know what I mean? So like,
yeah,
no credit taken away from them. Man City won, but it was literally down to the final game of the season. They won by 2 points. A lot of people are trying to joke like Arsenal didn't, but I don't think Arsenal bottled it this year. Not like last year. Arsenal
no,
bottled it last year. I think like this year. But I said to you at the time, the Villa loss is probably going to be the thing that not make us win the title. And it lo and behold, it did. Because when you're facing such an opponent like Man City, I know there's no such thing as perfect, but you have to be perfect because they've got a squad
yeah,
full, like a whole 22 that's ready to go. Do you know what I mean? And in terms of like Arsenal's rebuild, I want to touch on this a bit later, but like Arteta did a phenomenal job in the he's had how many transfer windows would you say he's had? He's like 6, 7 transfer
yeah,
windows.
six, yeah, six
Something,
now, yeah,
something, something like that, and he's done a
yeah,
phenomenal job. I mean, we have spent a few quid. We have spent some money, but it's not like astronomical
mm.
amounts. Getting the right type of players in and stuff. But yeah, man, your thoughts on the Arsenal City thing this season and Arsenal at the end and City at the end.
I feel like this was the perfect time for Arsenal to sort of do it.
Yeah,
I think this was probably the worst sort of title winning Man City team. I don't think they were at their strongest against the sort of top four teams. They kind of struggled. Um, they didn't beat you guys, did they? They lost to you
we got four
guys.
points from them. Yeah, we got four
Yeah, you
points
got
from
4
them.
points against us. Even Chelsea, we got 2 points from them. They drew to us both times. Yeah, against the top four, they weren't amazing, and yeah, I really thought that Arsenal were coming into a good form until that Villa game, and then
Oh,
I
Emery.
think it was kind of going out of Europe with that Bayern Munich game, and then all of a sudden you thought, oh, Villa, it should be an easy walk in the park. They should be up for this game, and it had that sort of feel to it where Villa could nick it. Villa really could nick it here, and then yeah, they went and won 2-0. So yeah, I think when you look back at the season, I think that's the point where you look back and say, look, we lost the league there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you guys were. Like you said, I don't think you guys bottled it. I think you took City fully to the end of the end of the season, and it just wasn't enough. I feel
Mm.
like there has to be more contenders for Arsenal to sort of challenge. Also, again, I think the likes of Liverpool having that challenge this season was a help, but I think there needs to be more contenders there trying to go at City rather than just two teams going at City.
How can City be stopped if they can be stopped?
Um, I
Does
mean,
Pep
if
have to leave?
the charges,
Yeah, I mean the church, but does Pep have to leave?
yeah, at this point, yeah, Pep has to leave because this team doesn't seem to give anything away. Um, they give you a little bit, but that's it. They'll give you a little window of opportunity, and then if you can't sort of seal that deal or break them, that's what really annoyed me with the sort of second game though with Arsenal against City is that I know it's hard to go to the Etihad and pick up any
But they
sort
played
of
for a
points,
draw,
but
innit?
yeah, you play for a draw and you've got to
We
go
gotta go
for it,
for it. We gotta go
especially if you're
for it.
going for the title.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
got they're the sort of moments where you like that's the change in shift here. Like
Yeah.
this is where Arsenal are with the big boys. But yeah, I don't
And like
know.
obviously, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know if Arsenal.
No, go
I'm
on, go on, go on.
struggling to think. Yeah, no, I'm struggling to think that this is twice now in 2 years that Arsenal have challenged City and kind of took them the full way. I don't know whether Arsenal could do it for another third season.
Mm.
That's my worry with Arsenal now.
And in terms of Pep, how long do you think he stays for? Like another year, another 2 years? Like how long do you think he stays for?
Um, It's hard. It's hard to because I think he said. I think he said like maybe 2 seasons back. He said, "I don't know whether I'm gonna stay or not now,"
Mm,
but he keeps on continuing. So I don't know. Maybe a year. Maybe a year now because Klopp is gone. I don't know. I
yeah.
don't know.
And in terms of Arsenal, this is Arsenal's season. I think with the most wins and the most points in the Premier League, more than the Invincibles, which is pretty
Yeah.
insane. In terms of the start of the year, I was confident, but like they really like around Christmas time. I don't know what like Kai Havertz started balling out. Defensively, we were just sound. Um,
Yeah.
but I've said to you from the jump, like Arsenal were lacking in a few areas. We'll get on that bit in a bit. But in terms of the rebuild of under Mikel Arteta, um, how long does he have left until they start saying, you know what, I don't know if you're the guy, like, and I don't want to create, a negative narrative or whatever, or people say I'm hating, but these are the questions, like, how far can you
Mm.
really take us? Do you know what I mean?
I think he still has maybe 2 seasons in him.
Yeah,
I think obviously you guys, I think Arsenal fans are fully respecting that he has done an amazing job now. I know there was questions before the season and questions prior to that. Oh, he's only won the FA Cup and that's it. But I think the success has been the results and the performances that you've seen within this squad.
and the
Um,
improvements of
to
the players.
yeah, and to challenge this City side is just remarkable. So I think he does have a lot of time left at Arsenal, but the next season, I think you guys would want to see a trophy.
Yeah,
You would want to see a trophy, whether that is the Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup. You just want to see you want
need
to
a
see a
trophy.
trophy
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
just because this team deserves one at this point in time. So yeah,
yeah. I think Arsenal do stick with Arteta because even though like I feel like next season like questions will start being asked, is he the guy? But I feel like he is the guy. Especially if you're going against a juggernaut of a team like Man City, it's just absolutely insane. Areas of Arsenal to improve. I've said it numerous times. I'm going to say it again. First and foremost, left back. We need a solid left back. Now, if Chiellini had stayed at Arsenal this season, are things a bit different? I don't know, but he's a solid player. But again, just injury prone. Goalkeeper situation. Obviously, we're going to stick with David Raya. Ramsdale's most likely gone in the summer because he's not going to want to be a number two. He's too good to be a number two. Box to box midfielder. Said it all year round. Someone to pair alongside a Declan Rice and then have Martin Odegaard in the more advanced role. A backup, or not even a backup, someone to compete with Bukayo Saka because number one, Arteta likes to leave him on too long. I don't think Saka can really the amount of harsh tackles he takes and how direct he is with the ball. He after 75 minutes, he looks knackered. You know what I'm saying? It is a long time to play. So I think we need someone to contend with him and then a striker, but not any striker. I'm talking about like top tier striker. And I'm not talking 20, I'm talking 25 plus goals a season. Like we need a certified guy. I don't know who that is because it's a very competitive market in regards to strikers, and they're gonna have to pay over the odds because of the Premier League and stuff. But that's just my personal opinion. You got anything to add to that, or do you think I'm correct
yeah,
in
no, I
saying?
think I think you're right. But to be fair, Rice, would you say Rice has been that sort of box to box midfield at this moment in time? I
But
know
this
he's
the
been playing as a eight at the moment. I
yeah,
think he needs that sort of. So I know Jorginho and sort of Partey at the end of the season were remarkable. They were doing a
yeah,
job, but I think you guys need another sort of
a holding guy,
another
yeah.
yeah, another
Well, so you
holding
think
midfield.
Rice should be the box to box guy, and we get a holding
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, because I think he's got that in his game. He scored
Yeah,
a
he
couple
does.
goals in this season, but I think he can score more goals.
I just want to know who that would be. Like his improvement this year. I know I've said it, and I know Anthony's come on and he's raved about him in person and stuff, but like obviously we all knew how talented he was and stuff, but that 110 is really looking like a bargain right now, especially in terms of
Yeah.
the age, the stature, his cachet, the swagger that he has, the leadership he has. And I don't know what his ceiling is, but I know he can be world class player. Like, what's your thoughts of him, and especially his improvements this year, especially going forward?
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. He could be world class. Obviously, we'll see in the Euros. He'll probably play as a six in
Yeah,
the Euros, but yeah, no, he could do it all. I think he could play all the sort of three positions in midfield and do a job anyway.
yeah,
But yeah, Arsenal really got a bargain there for me.
yeah. All right, man. Let's talk about your team, Chelsea and Pochettino part ways. Um, you called it early in the season. You said, I don't know, Eds, man. There's something about it. Like, you guys just don't seem happy. But then you ended strong. Was it 8 on the bounce you won?
Mm.
8 on the bounce.
It was yeah. I think we won our last 5 games. We
5 on
won
the
our
bounce.
last
Okay,
games,
cool.
yeah.
You won your last 5. The team's looking like it's cohesive, playing good football, wherever. Looking like they're starting to figure it out. And then Poch is just like, nah, I'm out. 1 year, bosh, I'm out. So
Mm.
that's what, how many managers? 4 managers underneath Bowley and them man's reign so far.
Yeah, because they had Thomas Tuchel as well. Yeah,
They had Tuchel, they had
we had
Potter,
Potter, we had Lampard,
Lampard,
and then
and now Poch.
yeah,
In two
Pochettino.
years,
Yeah,
in 2 years,
yeah.
that's it's not the best, Eve. It's not the best.
No.
So your thoughts on that? Your thoughts on, yeah, the 4 managers in 2 years, Todd
Mm.
Bowley and how the man are running the team, and who do you think could potentially be next?
Yeah, no. First of all, I was Poch out.
You
You
was.
knew my stance at that sort of stage in the season. I believe it was around that Everton loss. And other losses along that sort of period. Yeah, sort of leading to the end of the season, I was sort of seeing this improvement. The players were coming, certain players that were injured were coming back from injuries. They were coming into the squad, making the squad a better team. Cole Palmer wouldn't be the player that he was if it wasn't for Pochettino giving him the chance as well. Gusto's had an amazing season. You could see the sort of improvements that players were sort of getting under Pochettino, and I
Yeah,
thought, oh, it would be harsh now to sort of sack him. I think the timing was just it's kind of a joke. I think you would have sacked him after that 5-0 against Arsenal because that performance showed you nothing and no sort of improvement. That the actual last 5 games and the last 5 wins against some tough teams as well during that period. Um, I thought, oh, okay, Pochettino should have another season under him. I know he underachieved, and the target was top 4 for the owners. The owners wanted top 4 football, but no one was amazing this season in that sort of middle part of the league.
a lot of injuries.
Spurs were dropping a lot of injuries around that time. Spurs were dropping off. United have been poor this season. Liverpool also dropped off quite a bit. And then we started coming back into the form. I think we're top 4 in sort of form wise. So I couldn't understand the decision to sort of. I mean, they say mutual consent, but to me, I think it was a sacking. I think they left him no sort of alternative. They said, um, I think they've mentioned sort of him having an opinion on people that he wanted to stay at the club and also wanted to bring into the club. And I don't think the board was liking that he was showing some sort of authority. So, um, yeah, yeah, I don't know what to think of the board. It's all hearsay at this moment in time, but to want a young manager where when we actually had Graham Potter, who was a new manager that had these philosophies at Brighton, but you didn't necessarily want to stick by him in a tough period, and then you went for an experienced manager in Pochettino, and he sort of bettered our season. We went from 11th to 6th this season, so I don't understand what the sort of project here is with the board at this moment in time. I kind of want to get rid and I want to bring Roman back, but that's never going to happen, is it? So, um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it is becoming a bit embarrassing following a team like Chelsea at this moment in time.
And in terms of like potentially bringing in some new players, you've spent a lot of money, so the financial fair play guys are going to be on you lot's tail.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to get rid of some guys, but it seems like all the guys on your team have already been there like a year and a half, 2 years. I don't even know how
Yeah.
to. So what areas of improvement do you need in the squad in terms of position?
Striker is a key position that we need to build on. I don't know who's really sort of out. I know who's out there, but I don't know what the sort of player the board would be looking for, because we're trying to have this sort of young sort of approach and buying these young players on sort of 7-year contracts. So I don't know. We need the top striker to come in and score
Yeah,
some goals, and to help Cole Palmer out. I would say a centre back position, because Thiago Silva has left, and there's sort of talks that Trevor Chalobah could be out the door as well. So a centre back. Um, you forget that we we actually have a lot of centre mids, and Lavia was one of those players that did. So we didn't see much of him
you played
last
what, three
season.
games,
He
something like
played.
that?
To be fair, he only played a half an
Yeah,
hour,
something silly. Yeah,
and I
something
think that was
silly, and got
against you.
injured. Yeah,
That was against Newcastle or so. Yeah,
45
so
m's.
yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't say maybe the centre mid if Conor Gallagher goes in the summer. Um, I would like to see another winger, just because, like you said with Saka, Cole Palmer played a lot of minutes, um, and I think he did get tired at periods of time. So yeah, I would like to see another winger. I think Olise has been talked about again, and
60
I
m's.
would invite that. I would love to see him at Chelsea. But yeah, centre back, winger, and striker, and a
Yeah,
striker, I
yeah.
think.
In terms of like Cole Palmer and Elise, I would like to see maybe one of those two, maybe more so Palmer play as a 10. And
Yeah,
then but the thing
yeah.
is if Elise was to go to Chelsea, obviously he was there as a kid.
Mm.
Um not too far in terms of geographically, he probably could live in the same area now as he does and go to
Yeah.
Chelsea. Like I reckon those two could interchange with one another like throughout the game, and then in terms of the market it'd be so difficult. Like Elise, he's really
Mm.
but again, another guy, injury problems, man. So like is that
Mm.
one that you wanna because like even though he's a phenomenal player, like this season he's probably been outside of Arsenal one of my favorite players to watch. But again, always has injury problems every year though. But
Yeah.
but you would invite that signing though, yeah?
Yeah, I would invite it. I think 60 million is a sort of
Nice
nice
price.
price as well.
Yeah,
And I don't know if he's a homegrown player. I would imagine he is, because he came through at Reading. So
yeah,
um yeah, having another homegrown player, I think that is the sort of what the board is looking at, and whether they could sell off for a sort of profit as well. So
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I would take Olise, and I completely get what you're saying with the interchange, and I would like to see that at Chelsea.
yeah. That'd be a nice combination. All right, cool. I want to talk about Aston Villa. Because Unai Emery is a guy who, since he started the pod, I've always given him his flowers, and I didn't. I hated the fact that Arsenal let him leave, because I think he's a really good tactician coach. He's a great coach, and had he got the plays that he had wanted, maybe Arsenal would have won the league by now. Just
Yeah,
my opinion. Won hella trophies, and he's got Aston Villa back into the Champions League for the first time in God knows how long. Your thoughts on what he's done in his short time there?
yeah, no, he's definitely overachieved at Villa. I did not think they would finish sort of top four this season with the start that they
Yeah,
had against, was it Newcastle? They lost 5-1 in their first game. So
yeah,
I had no sort of thought that they would go and sort of get top four. I thought they would be in a European position, because they sort of bought the Derby. They had the likes of Tillemans that also came in the summer. So yeah, they have top players that have been performing in these sort of top divisions. But yeah, no, they definitely overachieved, and Unai Emery deserves all the flowers that he gets. Watkins has sort of got
balled
ticking
out.
as well this season, which I did expect this. I did expect the sort of goals that he scored this season. Um, I think he's someone that Arsenal have talked
I'd love
about.
him.
He's
I'd
also
love him.
He's an Arsenal fan as well. So yeah, no, they've had an unbelievable season. Europa Conference semi-final as well. During that difficult period, they've had to juggle that also. So Yeah, no, they've had a brilliant season, Villa.
In terms of Ollie Watkins, a guy who I've long admired. I just like a profile of striker, like, you know what I mean, mobile, takes the ball at the feet, can take the man on, run through the lines, whatever. I don't think Villa would sell him. I don't think it would be a smart move for him to leave Villa right now anyway,
Mm,
especially because they're top 14 Champions League football, like prove that he can do it on the big stage. But let's
mm.
say he was to leave. What's that price tag?
Um, oh, it's
80?
tough. I don't know. I think people have said that he would leave for about 60, 70 million.
Really?
Because I think Villa have their also financial fair play problems as well. So I think, yeah, they would take that price.
So if you're Arsenal and you call Villa, say, yo, Ollie Watkins, 60, 65, do Villa say yes or no?
Oh,
Because you're now
they would,
competing with us. You're
yeah,
now, you
that's
know what I
it.
mean?
That's it. I think maybe a year ago they would say yes, but now that they're competing, no, they would
Yeah,
want more, and
they'd want more,
and
yeah.
they know Arsenal. They know Arsenal could pay more as well.
Yeah, yeah. Especially because Arsenal are only like 2 or 3 players away from
Yeah,
being there. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, Flip coin of that Ollie Watkins conversation. Ivan Toney came back, free kick, beautiful. Since then, lackluster.
yeah.
Team hasn't balled out. Still rumors of teams. Has he? Not just him, but his whole team haven't played well. Are the big boys still gonna come calling for him, especially because the season come after the comeback? I know it takes time to get fit and stuff like that, but do you feel like, remember, he was linked with Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, whatever, whatever. Do you think they're still
Yeah,
gonna come calling for him, or do you be like, they may say like, you know what, we need to see it again for like another season to prove yourself?
I still think big boys will come for him. I think he offers something different than just goals. I think his hold up play is something that a lot of teams or a lot of big teams, such as Chelsea, I would say, would sort of attract him there because he offers more than goals. He can bring players into play.
Yeah,
Um, even more pay, who was terrible at
fucking
Everton
Mope.
this season, has just been unbelievable at Brentford. Not unbelievable, but he's producing sort of goals that you wouldn't sort of associate him at Everton. So, yeah, I think Tony would still attract the sort of big boys to come and get him because he offers something different than just goals.
Yeah. And then again, sticking on Villa. Now they are top four. Now they are Champions League. What type of player do they need to bring in now to actually like build out the squad to compete in European football, FA Cup, League Cup, and Premier League? Do they still need to go for like the tier 2, tier 3 guys, or do they now need to try and buy ballers that can actually come in, plug and play straight away, difference makers, whether it's from
Mm,
Premier League or from like other leagues? What type of caliber of player do they now need to bring in now? Remember, they got an elite coach as well. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Who
yeah.
can attract the names. What type of guys do they need to bring in?
It's difficult because they brought in Coutinho, who we would say a long time ago he would have been in that tier one type
Yeah,
of player. He's proven in the Premier League.
yeah,
He went to Barcelona for over 100 mil,
yeah.
and it hasn't really worked for him at Villa. So I think
He's in
Villa
Saudi
have
now, isn't
this
it?
sort. Yeah, I think Villa have this sort of model where they do go for the sort of proven players, but are that type of tier 2, 3 player, and that could improve the team and hopefully push them on. So I would reckon they would still stick to that model and go from there. It's a difficult one because if Ollie Watkins goes now, I'm struggling to think who they would go for in the
Yeah,
market
yeah,
as a striker. I don't know whether they would go for the likes of a Solanke from Bournemouth
Ooh.
or it's a difficult one. We'll have to see this transfer window.
Yeah, yeah. We'll have to see. All right, cool. Let's talk about Man United. Paper talk saying Ten Hag's getting sacked. Don't matter the result
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
To be fair, I reckon he's glad to see the back of Manchester. That guy's had a torrid time. What the English media can turn out a
Mm,
Man United manager of time in England terrible. But the guy's won a trophy. He's in the final again for another trophy. Again, I'm not a United fan, but the thing that annoys me is there's confidence and then there's arrogance, right? And he comes across as a very arrogant guy. Do you know what I'm saying? And he hasn't
Yeah.
helped himself because, you know, he has shown favoritism to certain players. He has, like to Rashford, he did show favoritism early on, you know, but I get it. He's the face of the team, franchise player, etc., etc. You ran out Ronaldo, club legend, best player of all time. Jadon Sancho, you didn't do that situation well. He's about to play in the Champions League final. Harry Maguire, you strip the captaincy of him, try to sell him, and then be like, no, we need him, we need him. Scott
Yeah.
McTominay, you tried to sell him as well, and then be like, we need him, and quite frankly, probably saved your job in many cases. Do you know what I'm saying? Bruno's just a baller. You know what I'm saying? The Casemiro signing hasn't worked well. Martinez has been injured. Who else I want to say? Like Kobe Mainoo, he's brought in Kobe Mainoo, cool. Garnacho is brought in, cool. But Rosman Højlund, wrong signing for me. Like a year or two early. I think he.
Have you spoke about Anthony as well?
Oh no, don't worry. I'll get to Anthony. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about Anthony, that guy. Rosman Højlund a year or two early. I would have liked him to, if he was to come to
Yeah.
the Prem, maybe have gone to a Villa. Rosman Højlund maybe could
Yeah.
have been to the Villa
Yeah.
team and then made that step to United. Because don't get
Mm.
twisted, Rosman Højlund has good qualities about him, right? But he's just so young, man. 21.
Yeah.
And you're the main
Mm.
striker for United. It's tough. And then Anthony, 90 million. And I will never stop harping on about the fact that Scout said this guy's worth 25. Scout said he's worth 25, yeah? You said I want him, I know him, wherever. Cool. 25, add on the Premier League tax, 50. Cool, fuck it, double. It is what it is, right? Do you know what I mean? No, you paid 90 something. You paid 90 something for this guy, and you had Amad Diallo the whole time, and he's better than him. I'm so sorry. Amad Diallo's better than him. Anthony is you want to talk about flop? People always give Arsenal a hard time for Nicolas Pepe, yeah? But the thing is, Nicolas Pepe was actually a talented football player. He just didn't have swagger and he was timid. Anthony's got too much swagger. Do you know what I mean? He thinks he's the best. He thinks he's the best. Do you know what I mean? That guy,
No, he still probably does as well.
Oh no, 100%. His confidence is through the roof. You know what I mean? Like I've got no, but his talent and his confidence they don't co-align with one another. So these are just some of the things which I feel like he went wrong, and also his dealings with the media, clashing back, whatever. He's most likely gone. But that would have been how many managers for Man United in X amount of years? Do you think they should sack him or should they stay with him and actually try give him another year?
From a fan's perspective, I would love them to stay with
Yeah.
Ten Hag because they seem to be going nowhere. Although they've been going to all of these finals, it's hard to see where Ten Hag has implemented sort of any sort of game plan, game style.
They
It's
have
just
no
difficult
style
to
of
see
play.
that
They
they
have no
have no
style
style of
of
play.
play.
Yeah,
It's
they have
counter-attack
no style
football.
of play, and that's it. And he's not made this team any better. He doesn't really have any sort of assets there other than the sort of young players such as Garnacho, Diallo, and Kobe Mainoo. I wouldn't say they sell any of those players as profit other than Bruno, actually. Sorry, but they don't make any money
Bruno don't want to leave
off.
though.
Yeah, Bruno won't leave because he's on nice money. But yeah, United are a mess. But I feel like if they want to progress, they need to sack Ten Hag now.
Thoughts on Rashford?
Disappointed after after the season that he had last season. It's disappointing that he hasn't gone on and progressed as a player that he should have.
But
I
this
know
is
the
like
media will
every year
portray that he
now.
goes out. Yeah, no, it's every year, and I don't know whether he actually does get any better than this at United. I think he needs to leave United. PSG is calling him.
He should have went PSG that summer, man. He should have.
Yeah, I think he goes again though. If Mbappe is going to Real Madrid, then yeah, Rashford has to go to PSG and sort of pave his own way. We've seen Sancho. I mean, the Champions League performances have been impressive, but in the league he hasn't been good. But yeah, I feel like United are toxic, so I feel
Oh,
like he
100%.
He needs to leave and better his career, because this is the reason why he's not in that Euro squad, is because
Yeah,
United are just, yeah, they're horrible. They're a
yeah.
horrible team.
In terms of Rashford, I was very vocal at the time. And again, neither of us are United fans. And to be honest, like I understand the media coverage because of the biggest team in the country, but it does jar me off as again and again and again. Like, for example, COVID year, he's got what, 20 plus goals or whatever. He balled out and
Yeah.
then it's been inconsistent. Obviously, he likes to party, young guy, multi-millionaire. I get
Mm.
it. I get it. Do you know what I mean? Um, but you got to keep the main thing the main thing, and he hasn't helped himself also either, as well as going to Dublin or whatever, partying and all that stuff and
Yeah.
all them things that he hasn't helped himself. um I get it as well in terms of you're from Manchester, you're playing for the biggest team in the Premier League, you're the main guy, you're on hella peas, whatever. Brother,
Yeah.
just go to Paris, fam. I said it back then
Mm.
and I say it now. It's only a couple hours on a plane. You can pay for the PJ. You're playing in a whole nother league. You don't speak the language, so you don't really have to talk to the media like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
Aguero went a whole how many years he didn't really talk to the media. Do you know what I
No,
mean? Like you can
exactly.
you can do
Exactly.
it. You can do it. Make
Mm.
great money, ball out. Um Good league, not as competitive as the Prem, but he's got attributes that would excel in that league, my personal opinion, because
Yeah.
he is a trickster. He's fast. Do you know what I mean? Cutting in from the left, literally plug and play. Obviously, he's not Mbappe's level. That's not what I'm saying. But he can interchange cutting in from the left or wherever. Him and Usman Dembele. That's like you got to pick your poison essentially. So
Yeah.
100% should have left. And if they come calling for him again, I would go. I don't know if he does go though, but
Mm.
I would. I think it's just best for him to get away out of the country, man. Honestly, in my personal opinion. What areas can Man United improve in?
I'd say all over, really.
we
Their goalkeeper, their goalkeeper,
never
their
even
centre
we never even
back.
spoke about him, Onana. Yeah, crikey. Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah. I completely forgot about Onana, but yeah,
Wow.
the goalkeeper they need to get rid of. Onana's not bettered them at all. Centre back, like you said, Martinez has not played enough games. Varane also, Maguire. Who's this new kid? The new kid isn't ready yet.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
18. Yeah.
yeah, that 18-year-old Kambala, I think
Yeah,
his name
something
is
like
called.
that. Yeah, French guy.
Yeah, he's not ready. And their centre mid, they need to change that. I know they keep on going harping on about Scott McTominay, but he's the only one that shows out for you guys, and he's scoring goals in
Yeah.
those big moments.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, their wingers, they actually do have wingers. They have options. So Diallo, Garnacho, these guys are
Ballers.
to look forward to in the future. But yeah, it's difficult to see where United go. I feel like they have to scrap everything and start anew
Rebuild.
now.
Just have to go into rebuild
Yeah,
mode, innit? They have to.
that's it. Yeah,
They have to. All right, cool. We've talked about Chelsea. We've talked about United. We've talked about Arsenal, Villa, Man City. Let's talk about Liverpool. Klopp leaving. What was it? 8 years, 9 years, something like that. Five major
yeah,
trophies.
8 years. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Really been a fan of how I love his interviews. I love that he talks about he's a man of faith. I love that he seems to like galvanize the troops and he makes players better. And he's a manager
yeah,
that cares, and the Premier League's gonna miss him. And I get it, he's burnt out, man. It takes a lot. It takes a
mm,
lot. Um,
yeah,
you obviously they've got the new guy from is it Feyenoord to replace him? I forgot his name.
yeah.
Um,
Arnie Schlott. Yeah.
how do you see that transition happening? It's
I
gonna be
think it's
rocky.
difficult.
It's gonna be
Yeah, it's
rocky.
gonna be rocky. I think Xabi Alonso was correct in not taking
100%.
that spot after Klopp, because it's like the Fergie situation. How do you beat a guy that's been there for 8 years and has changed the culture in a way at Liverpool? So yeah, I'm happy Xabi Alonso didn't take that job straight away. I think Ardy Slot is in for a hell of a ride. Um, like Klopp said, I think he said Liverpool, you guys need to be behind this guy, because yeah, it's not gonna be me. He's not gonna be me.
Yeah.
You just got to stick with him. So yeah, that sort of process now, I think it will take maybe 2 or 3 seasons before they are challenging again for the title. I think a lot of these key players are also gonna possibly leave as well. I think Salah's out the door. Virgil van Dijk is nearly done. So yeah, they're sort of going into a rebuild mode as well. So yeah, it's excited to see where where Liverpool go without Klopp, because Klopp just seems to just have been there forever. Like, it doesn't seem like
Yeah.
Liverpool had a manager before him. Now I
Yeah.
can't remember who the manager was before
I
him.
can't
So,
either. I can't either. No.
so yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a ride for Liverpool fans in the next couple seasons.
Yeah, yeah, man. And you just harped on it about Salah and VVD getting older in terms of them transitioning into the rebuild. Kind of think they're kind of doing that already, especially with the back line.
Yeah,
The centre back begins with a Q, light skin, forgot his name. Seems like a good
Quansah, yeah,
Quansah. Obviously, they've got the Northern Irish guy playing right back as well when Trent was injured. So
yeah,
people have even asked the question: does that make them have to play him and then move Trench maybe into a holding midfield role? Because was it Bradley? That's his name. The
yeah.
right
Conor
back,
Bradley, yeah,
Conor Bradley.
yeah,
He's really good. I like him. I do like him.
yeah,
But obviously you can't. After a while, it's gonna be like I need to play. So how do you do that? Obviously they've got Harvey Elliott. They've got the Portuguese kid that's at Hull right now.
yeah.
Um,
Fabio Cavalier, yeah,
yeah, yeah. Cody Gakpo balling out. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
they have got the few of the young guys there, like plug and play in. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, like, do you think they've already noticed that we're gonna have to integrate these guys slowly and surely? And then when the new manager comes, maybe by the end of next season, they sell VVD, Salah, and the rest of those guys.
Um, yeah, I think they'll keep hold of Virgil van Dijk for another season. I
Yeah,
think Salah's done now. I think he's served his time. I think if Saudi
still
come
balling
in
though.
for,
Still balling though.
he's still balling. He had a really good season. But I think Liverpool know they can make a bit of money from him if they sell him to the Saudi league. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think they'll try and go in that direction. And then, like you said, with all those sort of players that you've named, people can fit into that spot. I think Harvey Elliott could play off that side as well. So yeah. Yeah, Liverpool do have a good youth system, and Klopp has built sort of the infrastructure there for Arnie Slot to sort of come in. But I don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll be a sure thing straight away.
It's gonna be tough. All right, cool. I've got two questions. No, one question about Crystal Palace. Do they sell Eze and Olise this summer, or they have to keep both, or at
Um,
least one?
they'll keep one.
Who? Which
Which
one?
one it is, I don't know.
Eze,
If
I
as
think.
if
I think it's Eze. They keep
as
Eze.
Yeah, Eze stays. Eze going to the Euros definitely adds a bit of value to his name as well. If he also plays in a bit of the Euros as well and balls out, that also adds a little bit more value. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think Palace are building around Eze as to be the star man, um, and their sort of focal point. So yeah, I think Palace without Eze seems a bit weird now. I feel like it's a bit like Zaha situation. I feel like Eze may stay there the rest of his career.
And Mateta. Towards the end of the season, this guy, you would have thought he was R9 in his prime, bruv, just scoring goals left, right, and center. What was it? A hat trick on the last day, something like that. Like the guy was
Yeah,
just
the hat trick, and then also the bloody goal
scored like
against
didn't he score like 7 and 7?
Man United.
Something
Yeah, the
silly.
Man United goal was unbelievable.
I'm literally watching the highlights now on Match of the Day. Um,
Mm,
for a few they had him for a few seasons, and like he just wasn't. And then now I don't know what it is. The new manager's probably just getting the best out of him.
yeah,
Yeah. So like I'm saying, like with them, it's a difficult one because you know that teams are gonna come calling for either one of the two. They've got Mark Gahey, Anderson's playing as well. Good football. And Nathaniel Klein, he's doing his thing, and then yeah, man, they need to start trying pushing on for like maybe a Europa League spot now as well because after if they don't, their players are just gonna get
yeah,
sold, innit?
yeah,
Sold,
yeah.
unfortunately. I want to talk about last thing on the Premier League. No, two last things on the Premier League. The three teams that came up with the three teams that went down. Yeah, and that hasn't happened in a while.
Mm.
Sheffield, I don't know, I can't remember who you called it. I think I thought out of all of them, maybe Burnley would stay up. Um,
Yeah, I think we said that. Yeah,
but all three have gone down. Does it just show that like the Premier League is just a different animal now? Now, granted, Luton had the best chance of staying. They had a few unlucky results.
Yeah.
playing more like they didn't try to be too technical. They know what they've got and they just try to
Yeah.
play to that standard of
That's it.
play, more direct. Burnley trying to play like they were like Brazil 1998. Do you know
Mm.
what I mean? You know what I mean? Like they're just playing out the back and all that, whatever. We're gonna talk about company in a bit. And then Sheffield United, they were always gonna go down. They were always gonna go down. Just did bad
Yeah.
business. They sold their best player, whatever. But your
Mm.
thoughts on those three teams going down?
Um, I don't know what it sort of shows you. I think it shows that this parachute money in the sort of Premier League is helping certain clubs. You've seen it in the likes of the Championship this season. We'll see two of the two of the three get promoted back up to the Prem.
Yeah,
Leicester, Leeds, and Southampton. So it's showing that it's more harder to get up to the Premier League. Also, I think you have to be smart with your investment now with in purchasing players. I think Luton were very smart in how they did business. They stuck to their sort of tactics as well. Um, they've stuck to how much they should be spending on players. I think their sort of transfer record buy-in was over just over 1 million. So they did overspend. They've sort of built for the next season in
do
Championship,
you think
but
they
they had
knew
a
they were
good
gonna
go
come?
at it.
Do
They
you
had
think
a
they
real
knew
go
they
at
were
it.
gonna go down? Do you think they knew?
Yeah, I think they knew, but they had a good go at it. They had a better go than we thought
Yeah,
initially. Because I writ them off at the start of the season against Stars where they showed a poor performance. But yeah, no, I think they stick to their plans. Burnley was a different one. I think they spent a bit of money.
yeah,
Uh, spent it on young players. They had a different sort of plan of playing this nice football, which they shouldn't have done. I think company should have changed these ideas and tried to help them stay up in the Premier
yeah,
League for a season and then play that sort of nice football because you can build on that.
yeah.
And then Sheffield United. Sheffield United was a weird one. I really wanted them to get promoted anyway because we've had this sort of cycle over and over again with them. They've
It's
not
annoying.
really improved. It is annoying. It's annoying to see. So yeah, it's just it's tough to see these sort of teams come up to the Premier League because they don't add any sort of value to the Premier League in a way. And that's bad to say. Although
It's the truth, though. It's the
Luton were,
truth, man. It's the
yeah.
truth, man.
Although Luton did surprise me, and I was happy to see that they had a bit of togetherness and cohesion in that team because there seems like a big core of players that really did want to do good for Luton and probably will better their careers now, going on to better teams in the Premier League.
Yeah, 100%. Someone like Clint Morris is definitely gonna get a move to a Premier League team because
Yeah,
he can do a job. All right. Last thing on the Premier League. Who do you think is going to be the player that has the breakout season next year? Like, for example, this year was Cole Palmer. Now, always liked Cole Palmer. Didn't think he was worth the 40. That's a bargain now.
yeah.
Who do you think could be the next type of guy, or what from what team could have a breakout
Um,
player?
who I would say at the moment at Palace is that Walton, who
I
just
was just
got
about to say that. I was just about to say that.
he
Yeah,
just got called up for England. And I'll call on one performance that I was really impressed with him. I think it was the Liverpool game at Anfield. He just seemed to just be on everyone. He was just going in early. He wasn't phased by any and just being that Anfield crowd. He was just he was on it. And this is
yeah.
first season in the Prem. Not even first season. It was half season because
Half
they got him
season.
in Jan from Blackburn. So yeah, no, I'm impressed with this guy, and I think he could go above and beyond. But I don't see him playing for England in the Euros. But yeah, I do think at Palace he could have a real good run, and hopefully, like you said, I think Palace could challenge for a European spot, and
Yeah.
I think he'll probably be a big part in that.
But yeah, man. Eve, how you been doing, my boy?
Yeah, been good. Yeah, busy. Obviously,
Very busy.
last time we spoke, I just recently moved in the house. We are now 3 months into the house, and
Yeah.
we've got a new addition to the house also. We just recently bought a puppy over a month ago, so yeah, it's been a bit of a learning curve. Learning how to train a puppy is really quite exhausting, but yeah, it's been
Yeah.
good. It's been good.
So you know when they say like unless you've got the time, don't get a dog. Do they really mean it? Because you know, like I always used to think that oh they're just saying that, but then people like no, like having a puppy is really like having a child. You need to attend to it, train it, everything. Because if you don't get it correct now, it's gonna mess up
Yeah,
for the entire life, isn't it? Because you need
yeah,
to get it
that's it.
up and early. So what's that change been like, bro?
I think yeah, like you said, I think people do overestimate it. Underestimate it, I mean. It has been quite challenging. The first week she was getting up at 5:30, so obviously
Oh,
that isn't something you want to be dealing with whilst working from home. I think it's the balance of working from home and trying to train her has been like doing two jobs in itself. So it's been quite challenging. Um, but yeah, we're getting there. We're getting a routine down. But yeah, it is quite fundamental that you get all this training done within the sort of first 9 months that you have a puppy, because if it isn't sort of installed into them,
they get bad
they will,
traits, in it.
yeah, they'll wreak havoc around the house. They'll start biting and chewing stuff up, and you don't really necessarily want that. So yeah, she's been good. She's starting to learn certain commands, and we've been going dog training. And yeah, Victoria's currently at a dog festival today, so we are trying to be hands on with our sort of approach with it. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it has been challenging. It has been tiring, but I think it'll be worth it. They're very loyal companions
Yeah.
anyway, as
What
everyone
breed is
says.
it again for those that don't know?
A cockapoo, so it's well in
Yeah.
trend with everyone seems to have a cockapoo at the
Everyone
moment.
has one. The reason I
Yeah.
asked that, yeah, sorry to cut you off, is like, because to be honest, when I was looking at places, obviously, like the
Mm,
first place I move into is not gonna probably won't be a house or probably be a flat, want a dog. So I was like, all right, cool.
yeah,
Probably not best not to get a Doberman straight away. They're kind of big.
yeah.
So then I was looking at your type of breed, but then I was like, raw, people gonna like take the mick out of me when I'm wearing that, like walking the dog. But then no, I'm seeing some
Nah,
serious guys walking those type of
yeah,
dogs, you know. And then
yeah.
obviously it's a magnet. It's a magnet, all right. You know, we have to be honest. We have to
No,
be honest. You know what I
I'm
mean?
being I'm being deadly serious here. So,
It's a
I've only
magnet.
been on one walk with, Padme on my own
Yeah.
because Victoria won't let me do
Yeah. Yeah.
she won't let me out the house without her being there with her, so it is like you said, it is a magnet. A lot of people do look at you and think,
Oh
"Oh,
gosh.
that's quite cute.
Yeah,
That's
this
quite
guy.
cute."
Yeah, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
So, yeah, no,
Oh
you're right. You're
gosh.
completely right. I think if you're in a
Uh,
relationship, yeah, I don't think your girl's gonna let you go out on walks on your own.
Cause it is, bro. Cause I be seeing the guys like, you know what I mean? Typical finance bro, whatever. He's got his Gilet, his
Yeah,
shorts on, his A6 or
yeah,
Adidas Sambas, whatever. He's walking it,
mm,
and every girl with a caramel latte stopping him in the road. Oh my god, she's so
yeah,
cute.
no.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and he knows what he's doing. I'm smiling at him and did this. He said that. You know what I mean? He knows. He knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I was looking at that breed, and I was like, okay, this is nice. Like, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
yeah, nah, man. Like, I'm happy for you lots. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is adulting. This is life. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it is.